So we're being housed in Carib after speaking with Grandma Valentina, and there is a little knock on Quitana's door of her quarters at night.
Enter.
Sylas enters. He's looking a little drab, just like a little forlorn.
By the way, you enter to Quitana, like, ripping her hair as she pulls it back into her trademark bun. And any hair out of place is quickly discarded.
I didn't see a thing.
There's a little bit of blood, it's fine.
Hey, Quitana, I wanted to talk to you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, and maybe it's not possible because I don't know the metaphysics of it, but like...
You wish to join the Inquisition and make your oath now?
No, that's not this at all.
Oh.
So, Valen can't fight other people from Carib, at least not to the death, right? Like,
Oh, yes, that's correct.
it's some kind of mystical, magical protection of brotherhood, sisterhood, siblinghood, right?
Right.
So I was thinking, although...
We do all the killing for him.
Well, I kind of thought that maybe we shouldn't kill Tubercio. I know that he's a big bully and he deserves it, but I'd like to see Carib actually united.
Right, but wouldn't that be easy if we just kill him and replace him with somebody who would listen to us?
I mean, maybe. But the reason that I brought it up is that... Well, do you think it could be scaled up?
You mean Carib as a nation?
What if the bonds of kinship didn't stop at Carib? What if they kept going for the whole world?
And nobody could kill anybody.
I mean, not on purpose. But, I don't know, I was just thinking that might bring peace and, well, that might, and he, like, looks up with a little bit of a coy smile, like maybe he's hung out with Valen too long already. Wouldn't that bring order?
This is true, it would bring order, and it would increase the value of torture skills, since, people don't die, so you have to find other ways to coerce them into things. So I do see the value in your proposition.
Okay, you have already taken it to a very dark place, but I guess I'm just thinking about why I'm on this trip and what I'm supposed to be doing. And helping Valen become king of the pirates sounds like an amazing goal, but I don't think we stop there. I think we have to unify all of Azua.
I do see the value in what you say, and do not take this as discouragement, but I think often we imagine our heroes as those who can accomplish such lofty, clean, tidy goals, and in truth, order is harder to implement, so I think this is a good idea worth investigating, but just remember it is not always so neatly done, and while we might shoot for something like this, I anticipate more difficult decisions where life and death may hang in the balance no matter what your intents are. Does that make sense?
No, I think you're right. I'm just... like, I don't even know if the magical protection can be extended to Azua as a whole.
It's worth investigating, though.
Well, and I guess that kind of brings me to why I came to see you specifically about this, because I'm sure if we went to Valen, he'd be happy to say, sure, I'll be king of Azua, and not just of the pirates, but...
But imagine that world. Oof.
Well, I guess I kind of wanted to understand a little better where you're coming from, and where presumably, the traditional upbringing of Malaris comes from. And Sylas finds a comfortable place to sit down. So I know that I ask this at my own peril, but would you mind telling me a little bit more about St. Cuthbert?
Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this day. Silas, you have grown so much, and I am so happy for you.
Meanwhile,
Yes, of course.
Valen walks by with Xander. I'm telling you, an armada of floating islands. We can get it done. We can take over the whole world. It'll be great. Just hear me out, Xander.
So, when you imagine St. Cuthbert, many people hear order and think, oh, yuck, rules, restrictions. But instead, it's more like, rules, restrictions. You know, it's something to be excited about. Because, really, when we have these guidelines to live by, it helps protect the people, and it helps unify their energies all in a single direction, which is how you create great impact. It's not about one person, it's about the many following unified and together. So, to your earlier point, if we can promise people basically never getting murdered, that's quite a powerful bargaining chip, I think, and useful in terms of turning their energies into the same direction as ours.
Well then, I guess we've got to start figuring out how to bridge some bonds.
And I hesitate to tell you this because this is kind of a St. Cuthbert secret, but you have to breathe deeply and imagine your vibrations and other people's vibrations. Make sure they vibrate on the same frequency. That is a secret. Oh, I'm just spilling so much here. I can't believe it.
And you do that through meditation?
No, through channeling your vibrations.
Okay, you just channel vibrations.
Correct. Your vibrations, specifically. But it must be the same as other people's vibrations. This was like standard fare, I mean, in our teachings, but I understand we taught at the higher levels in a lot of different other religious communities.
Sylas takes Quitana's hand. I don't know what I'm feeling for. I don't really feel many vibrations, but I'm trying. And he focuses intently on the handshake.
You will learn.
Don't yell at me, Craig. What the fuck? That's insane.
Oh, you never lower his volume? That bitch is almost muted for me.
I didn't know you could.
I was gonna say, does anyone know a Michael?
I do. Did he sign up on the Patreon?
Yes, he's our first patron
All right.
subscriber.
Amazing. Michael, thank you. We love you.
Should we be putting his name on blast? Do we gotta ask before we do that? I guess that's fine.
I mean, I just said his first name. I'm sure there's more than one.
Shout out to our Patreon subscriber, Michael, with the last name we're revealing here. His address is 612-997. No security there, so if anybody wants to take a gander, he's great. Lots of cool stuff there.
Yeah, just give the front door a nice push, it will open.
Mm-hmm. With a brick, ideally.
Thanks, Psyker, for joining up with us. Because that's his handle on a lot of stuff.
Yes, actually thank the person because I doubt they actually listen to the podcast.
Wait, wow. I didn't wake up today to be dragged like this, okay?
No. I'll have you know that Mike is a real class act. Not only has he been listening to us from day one, he's the one who called me out for getting into orc face, so...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, somebody who's been giving
Amazing.
us feedback.
Not orc face.
Amazing.
Me and Shane had a long talk about
Not a work
DnD
face?
and
Jesus.
and green face.
Wow.
Hey, it would be a very legitimate point if this weren't a fantasy world where nothing matters. But
Well, arguably, because it's a fantasy world, everything matters more. Because our choices reflect who we are and what we value.
that's true. So
Also, what I always the reason why I really like a lot of the people that I still play D&D with, meaning most like the main group, is because you guys have always had the power to do whatever you wanted in every world that I ever made, and very rarely any of you chose the evil or the heartless or cynical thing to do, and I appreciate that, because once you have full control over the world, what you choose to do with that power says a lot about you as a person, like in the real
So
world.
what I'm hearing is that you want us to be a little bit more ruthless in our choices.
No, maybe.
Am I not interpreting that right?
Feels like you are.
my takeaway was Sylas has room to grow, and y'all are like, oh, let's be more evil. That's what we're getting out of this. Okay.
Alright, yesterday was Shoulders Day and I'm tired. Let's get this shit started.
Okay. I think
I'm cool with that.
where last we left off, we were on a carriage heading into town, so I'm like...
Is that where we last left off?
I think so, right?
I don't even remember.
We talked about how bad we felt about killing those adorable animals and ruled that we no longer kill or eat them. They are our best friends.
We talked about how bad you felt about killing and eating those animals.
That was mostly Silas.
Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Legend of Nat 1. It is I again, Germán Rodriguez, your GM and your close ally in the fight against global warming. We're back after a little break we took there for fuck around and find out. Hope everyone loved that. That was Shane's very own baby, and we had a lot of fun playing it.
I'm so excited. I've already started planning a sequel adventure. So if you kids enjoyed it, same characters, new characters, we'll figure it out. But like the next time we feel like we need a break, I gotcha.
Dope. Yeah, it was great. I had a good time.
Let's do some intros. Who's on the call? Roll call.
Hi, I'm Shane. I play Sylas, and I didn't think of anything pithy to say today. I guess we're just vibing.
Hello, I'm Rick. I'm the voice of Quitana, and I only have one question. Do you feel my vibrations?
Wait, how do I do this? I'm Valen, and I was voiced by Pavel, and I'm in a hotel and have nothing pithy to say. Vibrations!
Can I
Have
just say,
another one.
Pavel, I really appreciate that you're like, I'm going on this vacation. Sure, we can record the podcast while I'm there.
Can I
Thank you
pack
for
my
that.
laptop and mic and record out of a hotel? Yes, absolutely I can.
Such a good team player. Well, that's why we love you, Pavel.
I wouldn't miss this for anything. I had to say that quietly so my wife wouldn't hear me. But
I have another one. What's up? Not much, just home, chilling. Okay, just vibing. That is literally every conversation on every dating app ever.
Well done.
wild and I hate it, but yes.
I mean, I feel like sometimes there's a random dick pic in there, but
That feels like the level of non-committed.
What is the audio equivalent of a dick pic?
What I do when I pretend when I try to moan. That's what it is.
it's just that soft, like, flopping noise of it coming out of the pants.
What about like a spoken word poem describing
Oh,
the
God.
dick?
I was gonna say it needs to be like a sonnet, being like the girth of which is greater than an eggplant, the veins most vascular to behold, like real poetic dick descriptions. I think.
Would a dick by any other name smell as sweet?
What a dick, what a dick, what a dick, what a mighty, mighty fine dick.
And that's a great.
I really wanted your wife to walk out of. Walk into the frame right then
Just
and
hear
like
that.
hear just you singing about dicks, Pavel.
It wouldn't be the first time. It certainly won't be the last time.
Yeah.
Podcast, right? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Oh, speaking
I
of
don't-
which, I've officially been sucked back into Final Fantasy XIV, so just so you and Allie are aware.
The moment I saw the Bunny Boys, I'm like, there's no way Rick is staying out of this one.
When they announced the Twinks, that was kind of it.
Dope. Yeah, we will be diving back in soon as well.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Oh, and you know what? If you kids are feeling feisty, you could even go on our Discord and play there, like right, using voice chat.
Oh yeah.
Invite in our fans. You can play with Rick's Bunny Boy.
Yeah, do we
I
have
assume.
fans who are fans of Twinks? The Bunny Boys aren't out yet, but they will be. I'm a Bara cat daddy right now.
You're like one of those tiger dudes.
It may not be final, but it is a fantasy.
I was a bunny girl, and then I switched to Bara cat daddy. Before that, I think I was a cat twink, and before that, I think I was a dragon girl. We like to switch it up.
I made one character like 8 years ago when I first got the game, and I have not changed my character's race or appearance since then. No, that's not true. I got a haircut once.
You're not addicted to buying files of Fantasia and just changing randomly? Strange.
Allie does it all the time. This is my character.
It's fantastic.
I made exactly what I wanted, and that's it.
You're telling me in a world full of magic, you're not going to immediately try to use that magic to, like, change your shit up? Like,
That's correct.
I made a Rogadin the moment I knew Rogadins existed, and I will never not be a Rogadin. I'm sorry. I will, though. However, I will do a lot of glamours. That's the only reason I even played the game in the beginning, was to get a house.
It's all about glamours.
To get a house, to do the glitchy things that they used to do, like to make a loft, and to make myself stripper outfits. It was great.
Amazing. Yeah. I accidentally made my character look like Thancred before I knew Thancred was a character, and everybody gives me shit about it.
In fairness, like, I see how you got there. If I were to translate you into an anime avatar, you'd probably look a little like Thancred.
Thank you.
So I hate to spoil this lovely Final Fantasy talk.
But we do need to get to work.
Yeah. Right. I remember we were doing a podcast and playing D&D. And last
that doesn't
time,
sound right.
We are multifaceted people, Shane. How dare you? Shame us.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ick your ooh. I'm just trying to get us back to our recap where I think we met Pavel's grandma, and she's a feisty lady.
Let's do a little quick recap. The gang...
Pavel's grandma, not Valen's.
Yes.
The gang... sailed their way back home to Valen's homeland, and when they got there, they met Valen's grandmother, Vale. She is one awesome badass lady who has set up camp near the docks where ships are usually parked at. And eventually she realized that she didn't have all the knowledge and information that the gang needed, and she is guiding them towards the main town in the island. On the trip there, she explains a few of the magical aspects that comes with being born and being part of Carib, primarily the one where no Carib person can willingly end the life of another Carib person. Actually, on the way there, she explained a few other things to you. The island of Argent, as well as every other island in all of Carib, follows very similar customs when it comes to daily life. One of them being the bells. There are a few bells rang throughout the day. One at dawn, one 2 hours after dawn, signifying the start of the business day. One at noon, signifying it's time for lunch. One at 2 hours after noon, signifying return to labor. And one at dusk, signifying the day of the end of the business day.
I could get used to a 2-hour lunch break.
Okay, Quitana loves the unified timings, but as a person, I would hate to be on a nationwide alarm clock.
Fun fact, this is a real thing that happens in the Dominican Republic. My hometown did this. And if you live near a church, you are fucked. But yeah, it's one of those things that when I mention it to people, they're like, that's no way. That sounds too 18th century. And I'm like, no, I'm serious.
I mean, I can see people doing it. It's not my vibe, but I get it.
Well, and we now know how important it is to make sure that your vibe is vibing with other people's vibe.
Correct.
And I think that's why I'm so late always in America, because without the bells, I am lost. I am nothing. a
What
naval
a
function.
convenient excuse. I mean, what? Nothing. I'm not culture shaming you.
I also, just for like background here, realized Quitana kind of grew up in a cult, so there's probably some more eccentric beliefs she might hold, like some of the vibrations. She's probably not big on like doctors and stuff, so.
Or science and facts and stuff.
Oh yeah, only the family approved doctor. I mean,
Right.
That's just common sense. You don't trust
Only the
strangers with your body.
science that agrees with what we've already decided to believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say science gives us plenty of orders and genuses and species and kingdoms.
Exactly.
That was a very nerdy joke.
I like that pun. That
I'm
was very
proud
nice.
of myself. I am way too proud of myself for what that joke should have enabled me to feel.
So, as a little bit of preparation for today's game, I want you to, on a piece of paper, make blocks of time. I want you to make a block between 6 and 8 a.m., a block between 8 and 12, a block between 12 and 2, a block between 2 and 6, and then one long block for nighttime.
Can you say that again?
6 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 6, and then 6 to 6 is 12 hours of like nighttime.
Okay.
Quotation marks.
I'll already tell you what Sylas is doing with that 6 to 8, and it's definitely sleeping past the bells.
Good luck.
I'm sure Mevi's gonna come in with pots and pans, waking everybody up.
I really tried very hard to find this video that I saw once. Is like when you're Dominican and try to sleep in the mornings, and it's just like a lot of background noise of like someone's mom and someone's sister cleaning and screaming and talking about breakfast for a good 15 minutes, and I wanted to play that in the background today, all day, but for the life of me, could not find the goddamn video.
So sorry.
All right, so any other questions for Grandma Val before we land in the main town?
Now, how did you raise such an upstanding young man?
Upstanding.
Violence.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, not entirely just violence, but like, you know, morals and the on and off beating when he was misbehaving. Not the kind of beating just to hurt him, but to...
Teach him.
Yes.
I give her a big kiss on the cheek.
It's an educational beating.
I would like to call that negative reinforcement.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
I'm starting to feel like these cultures aren't that different after all, as I look at Quitana and then to Valen.
Shame on you,
But-
Sylas. You know better.
Grandma Val actually looked at Quitana and says, actually, I like this one a lot. She, you know, she knows what it takes to run a good house. She'll be one day a good matron.
No.
I can see that.
That to suggest I am to be some housewife.
No, sweetie. Matron is the ruling woman of the household. Doesn't mean you're nobody's wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, that I'm on board with. I mean, I still like the ring of Inquisitor, but I've been told that's, you know, has negative connotations, so...
To be fair, Matron Inquisitor sounds super badass.
Agreed.
Matriarch? I think matriarch also will be a good title. It's like the matriarch.
Oh yeah, I'm into matriarch.
The ruling person.
Come on, Mass Effect.
Hell, I've just started. Sorry, we're about to veer wildly off topic.
I won't go further, but yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. So, Grandma, how is the insert title of mayor or
Oh,
the?
you mean Hippolito? Oh, God damn it, that Hippolito. He's just being himself, you know. Over worrying, over preparing, over concerning about things when he should let me take care of things. But you know how your uncle gets.
I do. Yes, I do.
I used to over prepare a lot, and then they would beat me when I did it, so I stopped.
Can't believe he came out of me. Ugh. Unlike your mother, he turned out to be such a disappointment. And as you guys approach, she goes on a long tirade about how Valen's mom is the best thing to ever happen to the universe. As you guys wheel your way down to the city, and as you like, in a very
Valen gets a little bit sad.
In a very cliche anime style, you like come over a small hill, and the moment you pressed it, you see a sprawling city ahead of you. The city is actually located in a valley surrounded by a lot of very low hills. The low hills themselves are surrounded by small peaks and low mountains, a few plateaus. So it feels as if it was like the perfect sheltered valley to build a town in, and they did indeed. Grandma Val tells you that the city's name is Vega, Vega, and Sylas have never seen so many upstanding buildings next to each other. From the distance, it looks as if the city itself was made up of a few dozen large rectangular buildings that seem to be divided into like blocks of color, and you see people driving around in other carts. The city itself seems to be thriving and quite alive. Right now, it's about I believe you guys left in the morning, so it should not be that far past the 8 o'clock bell.
Now, compared to the encampment that we just left, which was already like 3 or 4 times bigger than the largest, than the community, which was the largest community Sylas had been a part of. How many times bigger than the encampment is this? Like, are we talking hundreds of people? Are we talking 1,000 people?
This is like over 1,000 people. There is at least 2,000 people in the city.
Okay. Sylas has trouble conceiving of that.
This
okay.
is nothing unusual for, like, if you've been in FAFSA, right?
Yeah, FAFSA is mostly metropolises. Even the military outpost that you were... Not the outpost, hold on, what's the word I'm looking for? The military outpost... Encampment, yes.
Encampment.
The military outpost that you were in had a few hundred people. And they were mostly just the soldiers and their families and staff. So you were not that unfamiliar with large metropolises and large communities.
So is this where the parade is going to be?
Why no?
No, the parade is on the sea.
Yes. So, by the way, welcome to Vega, the crowning jewel of all of Carib, she says, while puffing up her chest. And the centerpiece of the entire city seems to be a very large monument made up of a collection of columns, creating a very solid, tight base. And then on top of all the columns, there is a large statue of a woman with long braids that come down below her shoulders. And even from this distance, you can see that she's holding something that glows close to her chest. She's doing something kind of like you know how mummies like cross their hands across their heart? Something like that, but in a standing position, and something is glowing there. And that same baby blue light that...
Oh. And
that same baby blue color that the cacique disc has.
Sylas is checking his notes. Is that, Annika Ona? Did I say it right?
Well, indeed, she was, no matter what you hear everywhere else, she was born and raised in Argent. This is her home island.
So Grandma keeps telling me.
I would like to lean over and whisper to Sylas. Do you feel that? The vibrations of the city, they're not bad. They do, coincide in a wave together forward, but ideally it is more like a spear point striking at one point. So it is not bad, but it is a little discordant.
I actually kind of think I get what you're saying a little bit. There's like a flow to being here.
Yes.
Especially the fact that everybody is so syncopated with their schedules, and everybody working on the same sort of scheduled routine. I can see how it all fits together.
And it all pulls together that. And I point at the gem in the statue. I'm totally guessing here too. I don't know what I'm on about, but...
Do you think that that's, part of the... And I just, do finger guns? Pew pew?
Quite possibly. I would guess that this is the epicenter of some of these vibrations, yes.
Germán, do I see anything on the statue that might indicate that there is either some kind of superstructure underneath it, or?
So, like I mentioned before, the monument itself is at the ground level. It's just a bunch of columns that are holding up the platform where the statue itself is. And then the statue, you know from before that the statue was made by Argentian people, and that the gem itself is nothing that outstanding, because it has to be recharged once in a while. It's just meant to be like a show of pride.
Grandma Val, are there other statues like this on the other islands?
Like I said, each of these people claim stupid things, and they claim that Anakaona came from their homeland, but this is the right one.
Uh-huh.
Why would they claim such falsehoods?
Because they're jealous.
The delusion.
Did Arakaona ever visit these other islands?
Well, of course, she was our last Quake Cacique. She ruled over all 7 islands of Carib, and she spent time in each of them. But she always held Argent in her heart because we were her place of birth.
And not the others.
I'm sure she had some connections over there. Nothing like ours.
I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I would say that if she was the queen of the pirates and able to unify Carib into becoming a power capable of fighting FAFSA and the other countries in the war, that she must have had some amount of affection for the rest of Carib. You know, everyone here is siblings with one another.
Gross.
Does seem a touch incestuous.
Okay, I did it. What? Oh, Sylas just turns beet red and hangs his head in shame.
Val just giggles and she's like,
Listen, Sylas, it's okay. As long as you don't have any children, we can deal with it. But do keep it quiet.
Wait, did you just say?
while we may all be kin to each other, we are quite observant of the dangers of such things. So trust me, it's not what it sounds like. We're kin, not siblings.
Look, they have coconuts. I'm going to go play with the coconuts. Oh God, you're going to think that's an innuendo too.
Yeah,
Is it not?
Listen, again, you may play with your coconuts.
Wink, wink.
Do not spawn any children.
By the way, like I said before, I just watched 13 seasons of Survivor recently, so the word coconut triggers me.
Yes! We just finished the season last night.
Burger.
What season was it?
It was Brain, Beauty, Brawn.
The one on Netflix. Oh my god, that was so good. Okay, stop.
I don't know if it was
stop,
Netflix.
stop,
I think
stop.
we watched this of the other one. But anyway, yes.
We're very bad at playing D&D.
I make a perception check.
You discover there aren't even any coconuts around here.
Yeah.
The coconuts were all bitten by crabs, so they're all useless now.
Oh no. Wait, what? Never mind.
Wait, now forget the quest. We have a crab problem we have to solve.
Yes. Let's go farm crabs until we're level 5.
Hey, not a bad idea.
Oh shit. Valen fucking sprints to the beach.
Just South Park the hell out of it.
Honestly, let's farm crabs until we're level 20. Steamroll the rest of the world.
Do this.
Joke's on you, the world grows with you.
Not level scaling.
Oh yes, level scaling.
Anything but level scaling.
Alright, so you guys drive in. No one pays that much attention to you, and Grandma Val doesn't make a big deal out of your arrival, but eventually, as you drive deeper into the city itself, you start getting a few stares, mostly directed at Valen.
I beg to differ. On my way in, I am making a big show about it. I'm throwing flowers. I'm saying hi to everybody. I am throwing up minor illusions of like my exploits. It's a big to-do, my friend.
Oh boy! In that case,
Wait, Valen, do you need some accompaniment? I whip out
Yes.
the accordion and start giving Valen a heroic theme as he goes through town.
Sylas, my bard, regale these people of our heroic deeds on the open seas and on the desolate, sand-blasted wasteland of your home.
Here comes Valen, bringer of gifts, fighter of log moths, destroyer of that water thing that Tubercio used to attack us. Yes, Valen is great and deserves your applause.
Make a performance check, Sylas.
Let's see if the die responds to my training.
And if you do, you're gonna have to do the song from The Witcher. You succeed.
Throw a coin to your Witcher. Well,
Throw a coin to your Valen.
my die still hates me, so I rolled a 5, but
Can I give him
total
help?
of 13.
Yeah, Valen, you can help.
Roll again, my friend.
Okay, that's better. 19. Throw a coin to your Witcher! Oh, oops, sorry, activated the sword. Didn't mean to. Just got used to it.
But yeah, if you were trying to hype up the crowd, you fucking did it. The whole city is the word spread out that you're in town. Like there's people chasing your cart, and like you get a few flowers thrown at you. A few letters are slipped into the side of the thing, and most of them are just like kids, like young men and kids, saying how much they respect you and want to be like you and how they want to join your crew. And some of them are love letters and promises of plenty of coconut play.
Hey, Valen, you've got some love letters over there?
Nice, yes. I pocket them into a special pocket.
So they're Valentines?
Oh my god.
Wait, what? I missed that.
They're Valentines.
So this seems like a good
They
time
want to
to
spend
announce
time with you.
I'm quitting the podcast because... no, but as I have agreed to not try and make everybody join the Inquisition, I feel like, I can't remember her name, but the lady on the ship made me agree to that. Instead, I will just pose majestically in the front of the vehicle, looking mysterious and powerful in my armor.
I'm gonna try and hype Quitana up to people too. Did you check out that bun? Look how tight that bun is. That is a no-nonsense bodyguard that Valen's got.
1,000 golds to the person who can find the hair out of place.
I would love to hype this up as well.
And you see a lot of people screaming numbers and trying to point something out, but all to no avail because there is not one hair out of place.
And thanks to prestidigitation, Kana's bun looks both immaculate and windblown. It is resisting the wind.
Actually, Quitana, make a dexterity saving throw. There were a few Tritons in the crowd, and they're like, "Oh, you think you don't have any hair out of place? Bet!" And they casted gusts of wind in your direction to fuck up your hair.
I got a 20, not natural, but a 20.
And they walk away with their fishtails between their legs.
Okay, so
Your vibrations could never challenge mine.
make a got-to-be save.
Not got to be.
Gorilla glue. So you're the gorilla glue girl, huh?
Oh no!
Oh my.
Yeah, but it's intentional this time. I need that hair helmet. I get a +1 bonus to AC while I wear it.
Oh god.
And a +5 to attack when you headbutt.
Alright, so after a very eventful and cheerful welcome to the city, Grandma Val parks her cart outside of a very large stone building. It has stone steps, which again seems like a luxury you normally don't get. You have never seen before, Sylas. The building looks as if it's been standing up since it was made. It's old but well kept, and the stones are polished and clean, and they look beautiful. And right in the double doors that lead up to the entrance, there is the head of a tiefling. I mean, the skeleton head of a tiefling with blue flames coming out of its mouth, kind of like engraved on the wooden door. Again, 2 large singular pieces of wood have been carved into this. Each one is one of the doors. And that looks as luxurious as it sounds. It's like one large chunk of wood that you cannot fathom the tree that this came out of.
And like the doors aren't like glowing or anything. Like the blue fire is just a design.
Yeah, it's just painted on.
Okay.
Maybe it's like, guess how many animals died to make these doors? 17.
Val says, "Why animals? We have druids, we have woodsmen and carvers. No one died to make these doors. Maybe a few trees, but."
Yes, I go to open the door for Lady Valentina. Just after you.
All right, and as the doors open, you walk into the most futuristic thing we have seen so far in the world. If that reception room back in the abandoned shipyard in FAFSA was still functioning, this was what it looked like. There is a large reception area. There are a bunch of desks, people behind them. A lot of paperwork is being done. You see the smell of ink and fresh cut paper permeates the whole thing. Everyone running around is well dressed, but not like royalty well dressed, but kind of like formally dressed. They're all wearing what would pass for robes with vests on top. And one of these people gets up from her desk and approaches you, and she's like, "Oh, Madam Val, welcome. Hipólito was expecting you. You were supposed to come here." And she pulls out a piece of like a clipboard. She's like, "You're supposed to be here 17 days ago, and what are the supplies you were organizing by the cove? Everything okay?" And Val is like, "Oh yeah, you didn't get that? I thought I sent. You know what? My bad. I sent the wrong person over. I'm so sorry. But look what I brought." And she points at you, Valen.
And I kind of, do a like a shrug with open hands, like, "Hey, it's me."
And the girl that came out, her name is Ita, and you have met her before. She's just one of your uncle's right hands. She pretty much helps run the administrative end of Argent with your uncle. And after a few other people come over and they say hello to you, you are offered a seat and some drinks while you wait for Hipólito to be ready for you.
Oh, he's probably ready right now. I go to try to just enter the room.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Poor Ita tries to stop you. She really tries her darnest. She's doing that thing where she's like following you around with her clip. It's like, no, please, just give me a few minutes. Wait, no, nah.
Can I body block her when she does that and be like, "The man is entering the room"?
Absolutely. And she's just freaking out. She's like, oh my god. Ugh, I had one job.
Meanwhile, Sylas has sat down with a highlights magazine. Like, oh, we're not waiting. Oh, okay, sorry, I'll be right there.
Val had already put her feet up on a table and is smoking her pipe. She's just chilling. She's not in a rush. When you three burst through Hipólito's door, there is someone there sitting down across the desk from him. His office, as opposed to FAFSA military officers' offices, are very, very bland and just with the mandatory or necessary adornments. This one is lavish to the point that you're like, this isn't even a workspace. There are carpets on the ground. The two chairs across from on this side of the desk are very comfy. They have feather cushioning, and there are paintings on the wall. There are very beautiful curtains made out of hemp and dyed in beautiful colors. And the guy behind on the other side of the desk looks like a middle-aged tiefling man. His horns look a little bit decolored, like there have been some decoloration happening from either old age or just the headache of being the son of Val. You know how people get gray hairs early when they have to do too much? That's this guy.
Speaking of which, I found my first gray hair the other day.
Yes, Daddy.
Congrats.
You sweet summer child.
I would step up though and be like, "I am now announcing the arrival of Valen, the first general of the Oh shit. She looks down at her hand. the king of Carib? New king of Carib? Yeah, that Valen's here.
Uncle! And I run up and pick him up and give him a big hug.
And the person that was sitting on this side of the desk near you he's some human man, again, very close in age to Hippolito, but this one is wearing mostly black clothes, like black cargo shorts and a black top. Full. His hands or feet are kind of dirty, like with mud or dry clay. And this guy is just like shocked and with his mouth open. He's like,
Insight check.
I'm not sure you need an insight check to understand that he thinks we're rude.
17.
You clearly interrupted him mid-sentence, and now you have your uncle in a bear hug, and your uncle is like, Valen, please, my ribs, come on, man.
I don't hug him that hard. I've learned my lesson because I think I broke a rib of his before, so...
Once you let him go, it's like, didn't Ita tell you I had a guest? Come on, man.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. Hi, I'm Valen. I'm gonna be Keikosike.
And the guy dressed in all black says, well, I guess Val?
I go to shake his hand.
He reluctantly does that. He's like, oh, yes, young Valen, good to see you again. You kind of recognize him as one of like the morticians or like the graveyard keepers or the grave diggers of the city. And you don't remember his name. He's just like an unnamed dude from your past. Well, sounds like
I say, sorry, I don't remember your name. What's your name? Friend?
Marty?
Marty? Hi, Marty. How's business?
You know what? I'm gonna let your uncle fill you in. It's been a rough couple weeks.
Oh no.
And well, at least we're glad Madame Val is back. That will help us clear up a few things. I should go now.
Marty, is there anything I can do for you? Is there any way that I can specifically help you, Marty?
Marty says to you, I do not have a quest for you at this moment. Goodbye. I'm kidding. He's like, well, unless you can get people to stop dying, then I guess not.
I absolutely will, Marty.
I've also found that threats of death are quite effective at keeping people from dying.
He's like,
if you don't mind my asking, what are people dying from?
Oh, I suppose that's relevant information, yes. But my solution will probably work.
Plenty of freak accidents have been happening lately. That's all. I was just here to let the mayor know.
How freaky? Are we talking Final Destination freaky? Or what are we...
Saw freaky. It's like if Saw and Final Destination had a baby and it was raised in a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Wait. So I'm familiar with this this tale that has been passed down by the bards through these ages of the several Saw plays. One could say too many Saw plays, and spin-offs.
After that time, they were just casting fans and letting them be part of the play. That's when I just gave up. Remember that little contest to get one of the fans in the play? That was too much for me.
Oh no.
Yes,
Wild.
You really need trained actors in those scenarios. But are you saying that people are being killed through elaborate death traps in which they manage to kill themselves and thus get around the mystical nature of the Carib people?
Just freak accidents, man. They just keep happening. The last few weeks alone, we had 4 of them. It's quite strange, really.
On that insight check, is Marty the killer?
Wow, way to ruin the game, Pavel. No, but he's not the killer.
I think it is Marty in the ballroom with the candlestick.
Take out the mask. It was Mr. Jenkins all along.
Oh, that's what we need. We need a mascot animal.
We do.
I've got it covered.
We do.
I pull out the FAFSA bit and summon Georgie.
Georgie comes out wearing a coconut bra and a straw skirt. It's like, Hello, it's island time.
Georgie, I love you. Never change, you beautiful thing. Give me your best row.
Okay, but did Georgie just defend the people of Carib?
Wait, what?
To be honest, I think the coconut breath. Well, I don't know. That could be so. It could be appropriated for so long that now in my head I associate that with trashy American tourists. So I don't know where that originated in the beginning.
So Hippolito, what's saw traps? What's going on?
Hippolito, and yeah, Marty, you can go now. You can go. Let me talk to my nephew. Is mom with you?
Yeah, she's smoking a pipe at the receptionist.
She knows that it's a fire hazard around so much paper, but whatever. Let's just leave her there for now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like massaging his temples, and he's like, "Oh boy."
Is he sitting down?
Yeah, he sat down back in his desk and pulled out.
I get back. I get like around behind him and start giving him a back massage, like a shoulder or a neck massage. That's a little bit too rough. Just a teeny bit too hard.
You can tell it hurts, but he appreciates the intention. And he's like, "Oh boy, it's. I know you were gone on a very important mission." And he waves around at the two of them, at the two of Sylas, and he sounds like, "Clearly a success. These people seem to be armed to the teeth." Which we'll talk about in a minute.
I puff out my chest and try to look bigger than I am. Big and burly. Yep.
It's been a rough couple weeks ever since that incident with the float. A lot of very strange things have been happening around here, and there's no other explanation that we are cursed. Whatever they did cursed our fucking place. I haven't talked to Mom yet because she was supposed to be here 17 days ago, and here we are.
I hate to interject, but are you sure it's a curse and not perhaps somebody's doing? You do have the unique aspect of not being able to kill each other, which makes extreme accidents a more attractive avenue of disposing of enemies.
Well, I have put all of our most skilled investigators on this deaths, and all of them have come back empty-handed. And it's quite frustrating because I was hoping Mother will be here earlier and she will bring some of her former crew. The problem is that out of the people who have died, half of them were Mother's crew members of the past. Not current ones, but the ones that have retired by now.
And the other half?
The other half were quite random pickings. There was no pattern that we could discern. None of them were associated to each other in any way. I mean, most of them were skilled laborers, but nothing that will put a target on them, right? Like, why would someone kill a rope weaver? What
order did it happen in? Were the random killings first, or and then Grandma's crew, or vice versa?
So 4 people have died in the last few weeks, which is, again, sometimes accidents happen. People are crushed under a landslide or a rock slide or whatever. Some people get trapped underwater and drown if they don't have access to, they cannot breathe underwater, and it has happened once every few other year. 4 in 3 weeks, it's quite a lot. The first one happened 18 days ago. I'm sorry, 21 days ago. And immediately we called for Mother to come in because it was a very strange affair. After that one was one of the skilled workers. After that, one of her former crew members died. Then second skilled worker died. Then most recently, that's why Marty was here. Last night, one of her former crew members was found dead in his home.
These workers, you said the first was a rope weaver?
The second one was just a dye maker.
Dye maker. What were the others? Oh, just the 2 though, right?
Yes.
Are the Grandma's old crew, are they just retired, or do they have jobs, or are they doing anything?
Just retired.
The 2 that died, I mean.
Bunch of all hooligans hanging around the city. Nothing outstanding.
Did the workers have any open commissions?
I mean, again, I'm not the investigator. I can get you the reports that I got, but again, nothing came out of it. The families were okay, surprisingly, with all of this. They seem to not look too much into it, but after the fourth one, I'm starting to freak out.
Right.
The families were okay with it.
It's something that doesn't happen that often, and they thought it was just a freak accident. And for some reason, they all ended up strangling themselves in one way or another.
I'm sorry. These freak accidents which ended in each of the victims strangling themselves.
Yes. One of them got caught in a clothesline. Another went to collect a fishing net and fell off the boat, and the fishing net got stuck around his neck. The rope weaver herself had an accident with one of her looms, and her head got stuck in the loom, and it kind of like Final Destination tightened itself around her. And the one from last night,
Horrifying.
That one was the one that really raised a lot of red flags, because she was one of your grandmama's former crew members. Very skilled sailor, extremely skilled sailor, and she suffocated to death in her bed. We really don't know.
Her bath?
Her own bed. Apparently, one of her wall decorations had rope in it, and it fell down on the bed in her sleep, and she just got tangled in it.
So, is it safe to assume that there are no witnesses to any of these directly?
Nope.
Would it be possible for us to examine the most recent murder scene?
I would hope
Accident
so.
scene.
Yes.
I use
I will hope
heavy.
so.
I use air quotes when I say that.
Just one thing, because you are outsiders and because of all the dangers that have been going on, to ensure that the public feels safe with you around, I will ask that you leave any weapons that you carry on you. And I mean every weapon. Leave it here with me. I'll save them for you. I'll protect them. You will get them back once you leave the city, but I cannot have panic at home.
I have this fancy magic sword. Would it be okay to just peace bond it?
No, we cannot trust any outsiders. Valen, I trust you on your judgment, but we both know you pull a lot more from, you know what I'm talking about. Just,
Yeah, I gotcha.
and he was about to say something, and like he got a little sad, and he stopped talking before he said what he was gonna say.
I also get a little sad.
I hand over my mace, a handful of daggers, light crossbow bolt. Yeah, that's all. I am still carrying my collection pole, but that's not a weapon, that's a collection pole.
I hand over my spear. Wait, no, do I have to or no?
No, you're a local. You're fine.
Okay.
Actually, the collection pole, even though it is a weapon, it's kind of stealthed to not look like a weapon, so you can keep that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand over my dagger, my rapier, and Ariana Borealis Grande. I'll see you again soon, I promise. And I part with the sword.
I'll see you again soon!
All right, and we'll start with the investigation after a short break.
Could I make a sleight of hand check to try to sheath Ariana Borealis Grande on my side? Because I typically also use a sword, but my packed weapon disappears. So I feel like people wouldn't question why I would be walking around with a sword on my waist.
There's no feasible way that you can sneak it out. You can ask for it.
I will ask for it with words.
Uncle says, Valen, if this sword hurts anyone, you are entirely responsible. And he hands it over to you.
Absolutely, and I put it on my waist.
You may relax, Uncle Valen. I don't really remember your name. As Valen's bodyguard here, I am responsible for making sure nothing happens to his person, which would include striking others, and I mean, that's not my first go-to in any situation, so I don't think you need to worry.
I do appreciate you letting Valen hold on to the sword, because, and I look at my party members, This is almost definitely Tubercio having an outside goon strangle people, right?
Absolutely.
We're all on the same page?
I don't know about somebody strangling with hands, but it's definitely murder.
There might even be two murderers.
Possibly.
There's a copycat murderer.
There's a what?
The copycat murderer. You know, when a big famous murderer does things that someone tries to recreate it.
Or somebody's using one person's murders as a cover for their own murders.
Well then, so we have something dramatic to say right before we leave this meeting.
I flip my sunglasses up and say, "We're on the case."
And welcome back. What a great break. I did not forget to touch my push to talk button at all. I had my breakfast. It was a great break, I swear.
I pooped. It was alright.
That was a relatively quick break for a whole poop scenario.
Yeah.
Just have it as an art form.
Well, really, it's because I have a bidet. Do any of our listeners have a bidet? Because if you don't, you should get one immediately. Best investment I ever made. No more chafing. Better for the environment. Cleaner. Fresh as a whistle down there. Buy a bidet.
This episode brought to you by bidets, as all episodes are.
You get to say the word bidet more often than most people do. It's just a great word, to be honest. It has a French tone to it. It's great.
It's like French, but it doesn't have too many extra letters in there, so it's
palatable to say.
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was pronounced bidet. No? Just me?
Missed marketing opportunity for Biden bidet.
Yeah.
All right.
Gruesome murders.
So remember when we played D&D?
Nope, can't relate. Not relatable content. All right, so let's get back to business. Uncle Hippolito bids you all goodbye, and then Grandma Val goes back into his office right after you. She's like, I have to deal with some things, business.
No worries.
Everything
do you
good?
mind? No, apparently not. A lot of your former crew members were gruesomely murdered.
Oh, wow. So sad.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor and keep an eye on Hippolito?
She actually, when she says so sad, you can see that she, instead of being like actually sad, she starts like calculate, like her you know that meme with that Brazilian evil blonde lady just like with math numbers all around her head?
Yes.
That meme your grandma recreates immediately. She's like, oh, murder, you say? Huh. And I'm guessing you're going...
I was going to ask, are there any people, specifically members of Carib, who might have reason to wish to harm you or upset you or something?
Yeah, plenty. Hundreds, if not thousands, but they can't kill us. That's why I am quite puzzled by this.
But if you can't kill someone from Carib if you're from Carib, what was the deal with you borderline trying to kill Valen earlier?
Fun.
But can you lose that power?
Not that I remember. Not that I've ever heard.
Is it possible to explore that some more? I mean, we are this way because of a Titan, right? Is there more to it than that?
It goes way, way back beyond the Titans. Even the Titan was created out of our most predominant primal instinct, which is kinship. We have always been a people who cared and looked out for each other. And that's why the Titan that they managed to put together from the essence of our land was that of kinship. Do I know how this works? No. Can I find out? No. Can I help you find out? Maybe.
Okay. Well, maybe once we figure out what's going on, we can talk more about it.
I would be interested in the specifics of how the kinship has grown to prevent death and how that might be expanded or reversed.
That's the kind of ancient magic that Mevi and her people are more knowledgeable about.
Ugh, Mevi. Oops, that was out loud.
It's like, oh, so you have met her, huh? she's a handful, that one.
That is one way to put it.
All right, let me go before my son gets a hissy fit. I'll talk to you kids later. Be careful out there. Don't get killed, of course. And
Where was the most recent murder, by the way?
Hippolyta gave you the dossier with it.
Okay, good.
We go to that crew member's house where something fell on her and she choked to death.
Yes. So you get there, and anything else you want to talk about with Val before she goes into the office?
Nope. I think it's time to investigate a murder.
Murder time. All right. Right now, the 12 o'clock bell just rang, and the street's kind of empty out. The smell of cooking food, blast you in the face the moment you hit the street. And you see a lot of people just hanging out by their porches, smoking, drinking, and eating, having a good old siesta time. You arrive. Sorry?
Oh, I was just gonna say let's get some street meat, because we shouldn't waste this good investigating time, but apparently it's lunch.
Yeah, you can pick up some street meat. There's people selling sausages, grilled sausages on the side of the road, all over the place.
Wait. What's this sausage made out of?
Mystery meats? The vendor says, shrugging.
I'll take the grilled vegetables.
It's like, you really don't want to know what sausages are made out of, kiddo. You really don't.
I refuse to eat cute animals.
He chuckles and chuckles and hands you an eggplant and mushroom skewer. Yep, here you go. All right, y'all have a quick lunch and get to the house. When you get there, the door has been nailed shut, and it seems like this person lived alone. But you have permission to go in, so you undo the wooden boards and you enter the house. When you do, it seems as there's a lot of people have been coming in and out of here. Clearly, people were moving shit around, so it's not a perfect crime scene. There are 3 rooms. There is a living/dining area with a small kitchen on it, and there are 2 rooms in the back. One of them is kind of like an office/workspace, and the other one is the bedroom.
So I'd like to go directly to the bedroom and see if I can identify this mystery rope decoration that apparently murdered someone.
Sylas, do not forget to check the vibrations.
Yeah, you both keep talking about that. What vibrations?
You wouldn't understand. You are too chaotic.
I see.
Just the general vibe in here, right? And as I
wouldn't call it general, but yeah, more or less.
All right, so Sylas goes to the bedroom. What are the 2 of you doing before we start making rolls?
I would go to the office.
I would like to, from the bedroom, are there any windows that have line of sight to the bed and where this thing would have been hanging?
Yes. So as you enter, Valen and Sylas enter the bedroom. Quitana enters the office. I'll have each of you make a perception check. I'll give you some. I'll let you know what details you can tell with your perception roll.
Real quick, Germán, did we long rest since coming to this island at all?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, before we start investigating, I just want to let you both know that I have the utmost faith in your abilities. And I pat each of them on the shoulder and give them each a bardic.
Nice. That's a D6, right?
Yep.
Cool. Specifically, I don't necessarily want to investigate the inside of the room. I want to investigate the outside, the outside of the house where it looks into the room.
The lines of sight.
Yeah.
So in that case, Sylas, make your perception first, because that will reveal a lot of what I'm going to tell Valen anyways.
You know what? I am going to cast Enhance Ability on myself with Owl's Wisdom so that I can make this check with advantage.
Nice.
Ooh, good rolls. 14 and 19. My perception is +4. So, 23.
Oh my. So with a 23, you get plenty of information about the room. The room itself, she had redecorated to resemble like a cabin inside of a ship. So she had put like wooden slates on the wall to make it look like she was, still in a wooden ship. There is rope all over the wall, kind of. Even right now, still there are still like rope kind of like cordoned on the wall. In a way to make it look like rigging. Even on the ceiling, you see stuff hanging from it, like treasures or like trophies that she had collected throughout her life. Kind of just like trinkets, Nothing fancy or magical or expensive looking. And you can tell that there's a portion of the decorative rope in the wall that was hanging directly above her bed. And that's the one that did her.
Okay, I point that out to Valen, and also just like a question for you, and I hate that this is becoming a thing, but like, you can kind of tell from the vibe in a room if something is missing, right? Like, you can see where there's a space that might be, a little too spacious and it doesn't fit with the decorations. Are there any spots like that?
On your 23, you notice that one of the hanging decorations, one of the hanging trophies, the rope for it is empty, and it's not empty because nothing was there. It's empty because it seems that rope tore off. Like something heavier than what should have been in that rope was put on it, and it ripped.
Okay, and that looks like the part that would have killed her, or this is separate?
This is separate from the wall. There's the wall decor and then things hanging from the ceiling.
Okay, so I point that out to Valen as well. I wonder if the assailant took anything.
Wonder if the thing was the target, or she was.
Is there maybe someone who knows her a little better who might have been in
My
this
grandma.
room? Well, I was thinking along the lines of paramours, because that's who would notice inside a bedroom, but your grandma might actually know, despite it not being as salacious.
Grandma might be the paramour for all you know.
Yeah. Gets around.
That's a feisty grandma.
Yeah, very spicy grandma. Can I... Well, I think Quitana rolled her perception.
Yes, Quitana, what did you roll in the office?
I rolled a 21 total after using guidance on myself and bardic inspiration.
All right, wow, that's the whole nines. Indeed, in the office, you perceive that one of the windows locks is broken. The windows are just plain glass, surrounded by a wooden frame, and they kind of have a very simple lock, kind of like a piece of wood that prevents it from opening. Like you put a piece of wood in between the two things, into the two window panes.
Right.
And that piece of wood that would normally be able to be, just pushed aside when you want to open, it's been shattered. And her workspace itself doesn't seem that like she was doing anything great in there. It's just kind of like an arts and crafts room with a desk. You do notice that a few of the drawers have been opened.
I am beginning to think that your country's best detectives are perhaps subpar.
Yeah, apparently the people working for Hippolito aren't the cream of the crop. That's why he was hoping my grandma's people would help, but...
I see.
Yeah.
Well, there are clear signs of forced entry. Some of the drawers are open. I don't know if I'm out of turn action.
Yeah, let me just do Valen real quick. Valen, so now that you have this information,
Okay.
you know that you can see everything from the outside. You can see the office. Like, you see both Sylas and Quitana walking around, and you can clearly go through, like, from the outside, you can see everything that's going on inside.
Mm-hmm. I guess let me just roll perception. Ooh, that's a 20. Should I use bardic inspiration on this? Let me.
I feel like a 20 is good.
Yeah, but what if What if I break a 25 and get that very difficult to get information?
Indeed.
No, hold on. Is this how this works? Nope. 22.
Okay, with a 22, you can see that indeed someone came in from the office window. They did a very good job covering their tracks, but not 22 good. And one of the thing that you managed to tell on the ground that they were really trying to cover up was their the print of their shoes. Clearly, they were doing a lot of work, shifting their feet around in the ground to not leave a recognizable footprint. But eventually, it's impossible to cover it up entirely. And you do see a military boot that it's not native from Carib.
It was not me.
I knew it. It was
Yeah.
Quitana all along.
Yep, just to be sure, we size up Quitana's feet against the footprint.
I mean, I also wear heavy military boots. But to be clear, I would not strangle somebody and make it look like an accident. I take pride in the way I may bash skulls in.
That's exactly what you would
Yeah.
say if you were the murderer.
Is it?
Wait.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think she
not,
makes-
actually.
I feel like if I were the murderer, I would be rather proud of my work and want to show it off. But I suppose I don't do a lot of murder. It's all justified killing, so...
I think she makes a pretty good point. I can't imagine Anna actually covering up any murder that she's done, but this is more proof of the Tiburcio hired some thugs theory.
As much as I hate that guy, I don't want to believe that anyone from Carib is capable of intentionally killing other people from Carib. I want to hold off on blaming Tiburcio for now, until we have more information.
Alright, let's delay finding the murderer so that you can feel better about it.
You can find the murderer.
Alright, now I'm gonna need all three of you to make investigation rolls. Now we have a good layout of what happened. Now let's get more detailed clues. Let's go.
Okay, can I argue to make an intimidation check instead?
On the crime scene?
Intimidation instead of
What,
investigation?
you're going to scare the evidence into falling into line?
If you don't come out now, I'm gonna burn this place down.
Oh god, I should have held off on using that bardic inspiration.
Don't you worry, I have faith in both of you once again. And I will give you each Bardix, and then hope we don't get into combat before arrest.
Don't tell the DM what you're afraid of.
Germán, quick question. When we confronted Tiburcio earlier, he pointed out his, minions, his Quitana and Sylas. What did they look like again?
One of them was a Triton that was kind of like an anthropomorphic octopus man. The other one is a humanoid of some kind that you don't recognize, but he had the head of a capybara and a very broad, hairy, medium-sized body.
And both wear shoes.
I mean, you didn't get to see their shoes, but you're assuming they both wear shoes?
Well,
What kind
Tritons
of
have
outfits
legs,
were
right?
they? Yes, they do.
okay.
The capybara dude had kind of robes on, but the kind similar to what Quitana wears. Not the same build, of course, but kind of like combat priest gear. The other guy was just wearing plain clothes, like loose leather jacket and jeans. Very cool guy with glasses and a backwards hat.
Well, I have a total investigation of 8. Hopefully, my comrades have done a little better.
Nope.
I also got an investigation of 8, and I would like to think that I was really planning on investigating more, but I just felt like I really had to pray, so...
I got a 10 total with Bardic.
Wow, this is not a smart team, huh?
No. No, we share one brain cell, but
Yeah,
we're
you really
very
gotta stop
charismatic.
giving us. You really gotta stop giving us int-based checks.
Yeah, I should.
It occurs to me only now that we're all basically charisma-based characters. Oh no.
I'm wisdom-based, but
Oh, sorry.
yeah. My wisdom's a little specific.
Unfortunately, with your investigations looking on the outside of the house, the office, and the bedroom, y'all don't find any definitive clues that could hint you in which direction this person went. But Valen does find outside the remains of a paper cup. So, like when you bought the sausage and the veggies from the street, they gave it to you in like this like paper containers. And by paper, I don't mean like parchment, but like vegetable fiber paper, right? Like, anyways, it's like to go cup, and one of those, a piece of it was dropped nearby where the exit point was, from what you gathered. In the office, Quitana, the drawers were open, and you can tell one of them had a fake bottom, and whatever was there was taken. And in the bedroom, Sylas, you can see that there was some sort of a struggle, because the bed frame. You know how like when you have your bed frame in the same spot for a long time, it kind of leaves a mark on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
This bed frame kind of shifted a few like centimeters off of that mark, and you can see that there was some sort of a struggle.
And Sylas definitely assumes it was a struggle and nothing else because he's an innocent, cherubic teenager.
Yes.
Oh God.
Do I, with what I see outside, does it look like somebody had been staking out the place, or this was just like an in and out kind of deal?
It does feel like they were staking it out. It feels like whoever was here, not only like they ate here, they hung out here, and until they had the chance to do what they wanted to do.
Well, you guys, it turns out there is no investigation to be had. I found a drawer with a false bottom in it, which suggests illicit possessions, which suggests chaos, which means the murder was justified. So I guess we can pack up.
Oh God, Quitana.
Just to be safe, I'd like to maybe make some kind of copy or drawing of that footprint, and at least make sure that we have the size correct, so that we can compare it to people's boots if need be.
I'll minor illusion a color copy of the boot print.
Quitana recognizes that as a Fafsen. The size, shape, even though it's not that clear, but just by the shape and the size of the shoe print, you can tell that this is definitely Fafsen made.
Naturally.
It was Quitana.
Yeah, well, I think Sylas at this point is wearing Fafsen boots too, because we made a big deal out of like
Sylas.
taking them off of the corpses. But I check, and Sylas's shoe size I think is a little smaller than the boot print, unless it's a particularly small person that did
Sylas
it.
came back from the future.
Hmm.
Sylas, why?
Mine's likely larger than yours, but not gigantic. I don't think Githzerai are particularly bulky.
Is the boot print bigger than both of theirs?
Actually, Quitana, how big are your feet? Are you like Avatar Kyoshi footed, or are you more kind of like petite
This is the
young woman?
hardcore D&D we are here for. Tell us
So-
about the dimensions of your feet.
I am size medium, and canonically Githzerai appear rather gaunt, so I feel like she wouldn't have giant Avatar Kyoshi feet. She's sort of like actually kind of a skinny, wiry bitch, but just wears a bunch of armor all the time.
Gotcha. So for all for our fans out there with a foot fetish, you have a picture in your head now.
Okay, so it is confirmed that Quitana does not look like a Kingdom Hearts character.
Correct.
So yeah, if your feet are average in size, this footprint is just slightly bigger than yours. Not large size, but slightly larger than yours.
I guess the next thought would be maybe we ask around some of the street vendors, see if they saw any people using wearing fastened gear.
So
I
you
feel
can,
like that would stick out, right? Like that would be known. There would be a rumor through the town of like a foreigner.
indeed, and because you found a piece of the food container that this person dropped there, I would say you can use a skill of your choice to gather information around town to figure out where this paper came from.
I'd like to use good boy powers.
I'd like to use inflict wounds.
So I see we went two very different ways with it.
I mean, if you want to go your direction, I guess we can do mine after. If it doesn't work, it's not going to work, but we can try it first.
Oh, appreciate it.
So what this makes me think is that somebody is using magic to disguise themselves, right? Because if they have a paper cup, that means they were interacting with the people of Carib and that they didn't stick out as a foreigner. But like illusion magic doesn't change what you're actually wearing, so it wouldn't change the shape of the boot print, but it would change the appearance of it.
That's
So we should
true.
keep an eye out if anybody has the ability to sense magic.
I could use inflict wounds. I kind of do one thing
I
here,
love how
so I don't-
Quitana goes into Guantanamo Bay mode immediately.
I mean, simple, effective. Yeah.
If they're using a disguise self spell to cover up their appearance, I don't have a good way to see through it, but I do think it's worth speaking to people over at the market just in case they aren't using any kind of magic.
I mean,
Or-
not to circle back around to inflict wounds, but if it's just illusion magic, we should be able to, like, reach through it. And so if we just kind of touch people.
So your plan is to go around touching people in the town square? I love it. What could
Uh,
go wrong? What could go wrong?
And if they get unruly, like, it's a touch attack, so it works.
Right. Would my DM let me change my Eldritch invocations?
On your next level up, yes.
Cool.
I think it is time to call in reinforcements. And I am going to reach into my pack and take out the wondrous beauty that is Miss Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren! Brandon's
Oh my
not
God.
here today, unfortunately.
I know. I wish Brandon were here. Of course, the one time that we use her, Brandon's not here to voice her.
Oh, we can edit him in later.
Yes, we'll edit him in
Mhm.
post if we decide not to be lazy about it. All right. You there, good street meat vendor. Thank you for the mushrooms and eggplant earlier. Now, I wish to ask you for some information, but I am no Philistine, and I know that you deserve something for your information. So please enjoy this dance. I'm right in the middle of the street. I've just got to start boogieing with Helen Mirren.
Amazing. I'd like to hype the crowd to assist this.
Ooh,
Sure, and you can. I mean, you automatically succeed, Valen, because again, you're a local and people know you and like you. So, yeah, but just by hyping up Sylas' performance, you made it easier for him to accomplish his goal. That means you lower the DC. He already gets advantage from the goal.
which is great because so on advantage, one die was a nat 1, and thankfully though the other total is 27.
Jesus.
Sylas knows how to dance.
Damn.
Apparently.
Well,
He is straight up getting jiggy with it.
what I picture is, remember those movies back in the 2000s, like the dance movies, that even though they were not really dancing and not doing a good job, when they ended it, they did a cool pose, and everyone went crazy, but this time, the dance was also good.
Okay.
Yeah, people were mystified with this foreign boy shaking his his thing over there in the middle of the street, and the vendor's like, "All right, vegan boy, let's talk. What is it? What do you want to know? What are you looking for?"
We're looking for someone who wears Fafsen boots, much like the ones that myself and Quitana are wearing. We can't go into full details due to some safety concerns, but we were wondering if you had seen anyone who might have come by here dressed out of place for Carib.
Someone like that would stick out quite quickly. So no, we have not. I have not seen anyone dressed like that. But we have noticed every day during between the 12 and 2 o'clock bells, people's supplies are being stolen. Like we keep being short on stock. Me and some of the other vendors.
Between 12 and 2, you said?
Yes. Which right now is it's almost the end of lunch right now. And then sometimes at nighttime, right before the dusk bell lately, again, the city has been cursed ever since the goddamn float got attacked. Some vengeful spirit running around the city, making it worse, making everything worse. Sometimes around right before the dusk bell, weird shit happens in the crafters sector. Like supplies get destroyed, anything related to the float continues to weirdly get sabotaged on its own. And then with this deaths too, it's like honestly some sort of mystery.
And what time period was that again? In the evening? Like that's
right before dusk. Right before dusk.
Okay.
It's so weird. Whoever this person is, they follow a very strict schedule, or whatever this spirit is quite consistent in its curse.
Well, I think I can help. Valen, Quitana, if I may just borrow you for a quick aside.
Sure.
No. I'm just kidding, of course.
So, fairy fire, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, we're fighting? Okay, yeah.
Let's hang out for the rest of lunch. If anything goes weird, we'll do it. And if not, let's work on the float tonight.
Yeah.
You wish to do a steak bout?
I think we should keep our eyes peeled right now for where the vendors keep their supplies to see if any of it is being taken, and then we should stake out the crafters area.
All right.
Oh, I said steak bout.
I heard.
It's when you spar and people think you're not paying attention, but you're looking around to see what's happening.
So the way this works is I will tell you the mechanic of figuring out of catching the culprit. This person has been sabotaging the city little by little, and while doing so has been committing murders or whatever this thing is, has been doing that. Like you already found out, not every day, but whenever this person does that, sometimes in the mornings the bells will stop working, or the ropes that hold the bells up will get frayed or wear out on their own way too quickly. And normally that starts happening in the very early morning, so 6 to 8. 8 to 12, whenever something bad happens within that time frame, it's animals. They fuck around with the tapirs and other draft animals, and any like butcher that has live chickens or other cattle, they randomly the doors to their cages open up and they create chaos all over the place. Between 12 and 2 sometimes food gets stolen. Between 2 and 6 sometimes anything related to the float gets sabotaged.
That's between 2 and 6.
Yes, you will not know what's happening that day, so you're gonna have to stake out during these times and tell me each day where you guys will be.
So it's like, what, 1:30 now?
Yeah, it's close to 2 o'clock.
I will be in the streets, as I have extensive experience knowing that if I stand there and ask if people wish to know of my religion, I will be completely invisible.
Before we end this session, Valen, Quitana, how do you feel about helping me with a little bribe?
My Sylas, I'd love to.
That sounds disorderly. I will need more information.
I think our best plan is to become one of the people working on the float. I can use disguise self to look like them, and maybe we can just pay them for their time to stay home that night.
I love it.
That does.
And if something goes wrong, well, at least I'm the one who gets brained instead of some bystander. Oh, I don't like that part, but, it's hero stuff.
That is remarkably selfless of you, and I will sign on to that, but I do think I would be most effective trying to speak of St. Cuthbert to the people.
Let's have you stationed right outside so that you can run in and prevent me from being brained if need be.
Is there a place that I can make some quick pamphlets?
And I'll hide so I don't draw too much attention.
You can just go back to Hippolytus, to the mayor's office and ask for parchment and ink. They'll give it to you.
Perfect. Before we split ways, though, I have one more thing. Sylas, what's your AC?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm pretty nimble, but I'd say, depending on the situation, if I had to make it a scale out of 20, that I'm like a 14, 15.
I say vibration check and swing at you.
What?
10, I miss. Well done. Well done, Sylas.
I actually block you by reaching for the two weapons that I don't have on me, and I just sort of accidentally get your wrist with my crossed wrists, and I'm like, this would be much more impressive if there were weapons in my hand.
Still, your vibrations are improving. Well done.
Yeah, that looks like it means far more to Sylas than it probably should. And I guess we're going to outros. You want to go first, Pavel?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I'm Valen, and I was voiced by Pavel, and I have nothing cool to say.
I'm Shane. I played Sylas. Don't forget, if this comes out before Pride School Festival, to check us out at Pride School Festival, hosted by NYC Gamers on Discord, June 18 to 20. And if this comes out after that, well then, please kindly disregard this plug, and instead, just join our Discord to find out more about what we're doing.
I'm Rick. I was the voice of Quitana, and just ask yourself, have I checked my vibrations today?
Yeah, I love this new, holistic Quitana.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's very culty. Anyway, I don't want to keep Pavel, but...
No, yeah, thank you everyone for listening in. Thank you guys for joining me today, all three of you. I love you a lot. This was Germán, the GM for the day. I love everyone and everything. I don't hate vegans as much as my imaginary NPCs mock them. I support veganism.
We love you all. Thanks for listening. Here's those sweet, sweet credits.
Remember, if you like our podcast and enjoy our content, make sure to check us out on Discord.
There's a link in our show notes.
The Legend of Nat 1 theme is by David Yardley. You can find more of his work at davidyardleymusic.com. That's Yardley spelled Yardley.
Logo by Ben Thwaite.
You can follow us on our socials. The Legend of Nat 1 on Facebook and Nat 1 Pod on Instagram and Twitter.
That is Nat, the number 1 pod.
And if you really like our content, you can throw us $1 on Patreon. @nat1pod.
Email us at legendofnat1@gmail.com to give us feedback, suggestions, or criticisms that will haunt us for the rest of our days.
The majority of our music is by Kevin MacLeod, and the license is provided by incompetech.filmmusic.io.
Valen decided he needed his own theme music. You can find Pirates of the Quarantine by Alexander Nakarada, and the license is provided by filmmusic.io.
I love that. I love that. That is loved by me.
It seems a bit biased about your love.
Our amazing editing is done by the incomparable Brandon Lee,
Also known affectionately as Pooh Bear.
with assistance by Shane Cherry.
Hey, that's me.
And if you didn't like our content, again, we are The Adventure Zone.
That's some gay history right there, because that is a staple drag queen joke.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
Sage looks great. Who doesn't love lasers?
Is this Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It has a free trial from levels 1 to 60, up to and including the critically acclaimed expansion Heavensward, with no gameplay limits. How incredible is that?
Rick, put the ad
I
copy
see
away.
you're already working on your... yeah. I was going to say, you're already working on your sponsorship copy?
I mean... Listen, between Final Fantasy and bidet sponsorships, I really should be able to, get some passive income here.
Indeed.